it's just me and you.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the look that I'm wearing right now. Now I did do my first Valentine's Day look last week, but we are going into the second look now for Valentine's Day. The first one was really pinky and cutesy, and this one's more like grungy and smoky. Kind of like I'm a badass, so don't fuck with me, if you know what I mean. If you need to like reel in your boyfriend or girlfriend and need to let them know who's boss, this might be the look that you need to do. I have partnered with Deck of Scarlet for this look. I've worked with them a million times and I love them as a brand, so I'll be showing you some products from the brand in this tutorial. It's going to be a full face, so before I start rambling, please subscribe if you are new, and let's begin the tutorial. If you're unfamiliar with Deck of Scarlet, they are a bi-monthly makeup subscription service that sends you a full deck of products to create an entire look for less than you would spend on a lot of products at Sephora. So instead of dropping $40 on one product from Sephora, you get an entire deck for a lower price. Now the reason I love working with this brand so much is they do work with YouTubers to come up with the palettes. This palette is in collaboration with Nakia Joy here on YouTube. She has a lot of oily skin girl hacks. I am subscribed to her. I've been subscribed to her for a long time. And this is a very cool toned palette, so that's what kind of inspired my grungy look that I'm wearing right now. So this is the inside of Nakia's collaboration with Deck of Scarlet. You get 3 eyeshadows, one matte with some glitter, and then a shimmer. You also get a matte blush, a shimmery kind of icy highlight, and then you get a deep berry lip and then a nude lip. And also with this particular palette, you do get a liner pen, which is really nice. I've spoke about this in favorites in past videos. Sometimes they come with lip crayons, it just depends, or a lip liner, but each palette is kind of a palette and then they have like an extra item that goes with it, so it just depends on the collaboration. I also incorporated a few of the Deck of Scarlet foiled eyeshadows in this look. This is not a collaboration with YouTubers, but it is named after YouTubers. So I actually have this one right here named Stephanie, and I've used it in a previous video I can link down below. But I did use a couple of these, and just to show you the pigment, these are insane. They go on so beautifully onto the eyes, you'll see in this tutorial, and they're just like wet looking. They look foiled and wet, so these are a standout product for me. If you're new to Deck of Scarlet, highly recommend checking out these if you like that foiled, wet, beautiful look on the eyes. Deck of Scarlet also has a shop now section where you can buy all of the palettes separately as well as add-ons. So if there's a liquid liner that you really loved or a lipstick that came with the palette and you just want the lipstick, you can buy that. You just go to their website and click shop and it'll have everything there for you. Also a perk for new subscribers of Deck of Scarlet, if this palette isn't your jam, it's a little too cool toned or it's just not your style, you can start your subscription off with whatever palette you'd like. They will give you a selection of all the past palettes and you can choose the one you want to start with. So you could use mine or you could do whichever palette kind of speaks to you to start off. And lastly, Deck of Scarlet is cruelty-free, paraben-free, and they are available to the USA, Canada, and the UK. So if you're interested in checking out Deck of Scarlet, I will have a special link in my description box that'll save you 10%. So make sure to click that and check down below, and let's get into the tutorial. Alright guys, we're going to start with the skin, and I am going to prime with the Stellar Beauty Brilliant Primer. You can get this at Sephora. It's a brand that no one really talks about, but I really enjoy this for pore smoothing and just giving me a little bit of luminosity. And then I'm going to go in with my Huda Beauty foundation. This is a great full coverage foundation, and I'm using the Fenty Beauty sponge to press that into the skin. I like this foundation because it's pretty long lasting on the skin, and it also gives me a full coverage look. This is a very heavy foundation, so I wouldn't wear it every day. I use it for special events or filming. So now I'm going to conceal, and I'm using the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer, which is probably my new favorite. I went in with a deeper shade because I didn't want to go too light under the eyes, but then I ended up having to mix in my lighter shade. So I'll put both shades in the description bar, and I'm just going to blend this out under my eyes. I don't like to do a lot of this concealer because it is very, very full coverage, and it will be cakey if you put too much on. You really don't need a lot, so I'm just blending that out, and then I'm going to set under the eyes and the entire face with this Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. It is my favorite, and I'm just going to kind of apply a bunch under my eyes like I'm going to bake, but I've been doing like light baking, I guess, recently. Not baking as much as I would or leaving it on as long, and then I'm just going to stamp the rest into my skin to set the face. So now we're going to jump into the palette. This is a close-up of the outer packaging of the Deck of Scarlet palette, and this is what the inside looks like. So you have some beautiful mauve-y gray tones in here. So we're going to start off the eyes, and I'm going in with the shade Stellar. Now this is like a mauve-y brown. This is a blush, but you can also use it as eyeshadow, which I'm doing here. So I'm just going to blend this pretty tightly into my crease. I'm using a Smith. It's either a 230 or a 232. And you're just going to sweep this back and forth and kind of blow it out all over the lid and through the crease. We want it really smoky. This is a grungy look. It's still put together, but it's grungy because of the colors. It's very kind of cool girl, cool tones, just a little bit of a different spin than a typical Valentine's look. So after that, I'm going to go into the shade Space. This is a matte gray shade, and I'm going to apply this really tightly into the crease. This is going to deepen it up. So you want a tapered brush that kind of comes to a point, which is why I'm using these Smith brushes, and really focus this tight into the crease and just blend out any harsh edges that you may have. But these are super blendable, super pigmented. So now I'm going to do a winged liner, and I just did it really quickly. I did a pretty big wing for this one because I don't know, I just felt like it today. And I'm going to pop some lashes on. These are Royalty from Flutter Lashes, one of my favorites. And then I am going to move on to the lower lash line. So now I'm using one of the Deck of Scarlet foiled shadows, just showing you a quick swatch here. And this is in the shade Caitlin. This is a bright, fiery red, but it is metallic as hell. You can see that there's like no fallout. I wet my brush for this because I was doing it close to the lower lash line, and I just started blending it back and forth really lightly and building the color up. I want this to be pretty intense. This is like my Valentine's pop of color. I think reds can be really beautiful, but people are afraid to use them. And then for my inner corner, I am using the shade Yvonne. This is a light kind of champagne-y pink color, and I'm just going to just pop it on the inner corner to brighten up the inner corner of my eyes. And now I'm going to move on to contouring the face. I'm just using the Urban Decay Shapeshifter palette, and I tried a new brush from Morphe, and I actually like it for a sharp contour. So I'm just going to carve out my cheekbones because you guys know I like a strong contour. And then I'm going to move on to bronzing. This is a Laura Mercier bronzer. I've really been enjoying these. I don't even know if this is a bronzer per se. It's their Candlelight powders, but I really like it for bronzing. This is a Wayne Goss brush, which I like, but I don't, I don't love, so I think it's a little bit pricey. And then I'm going to go on to blush. So I'm using the Stellar blush from the Deck of Scarlet palette. I'm going to use that same Wayne Goss brush, and I'm just going to sweep this all over the cheeks. This is very matte, very cool toned. And now I'm going to go in with these glitter drops from Cover FX. I wanted to try them out, and I thought they'd be a nice base under this really silvery highlight that we have in this palette. So I just took a little bit and blended in with my finger on the tops of my cheekbones. And it is glittery, but it's not, I mean, it's just kind of shimmery like a normal highlight. So I think anyone could really wear it. And then I'm going to go over that with the highlight in the palette, and this is called Stardust. This is a very icy, silvery highlight, great for light to fair skin tones, even medium, but I feel like, Nakia is pretty fair, so this is a very icy, cool toned highlight. It goes very well with the palette. So I'm just applying that on my nose, and I'm going to pop some liner in my waterline. I just like to have a light pink waterline instead of a deep one. And then I decided for the lips, I am going to go with like a chocolatey brown lip color. This is from Tarte. I'm just going to apply this all over the lips as a base, and obviously I styled my hair, so I look like a crazy person right now. But I'm going to apply this as a base for my lips, and then I decided to jump back into the palette and use the shade Astro. This is a very grungy, grayish nude, and I just wanted to use my finger and pop this in the center of my lips just to give a little bit of a different effect, and that completes the look. So this is how you get grungy Valentine's tutorial. Alright guys, so that finishes up my Valentine's Day tutorial number 2. Let me know what look you're going to wear for Valentine's Day. Are you going to go for the sweet? Or are you going to go for the kind of hard ass like this one? Let me know down below. Don't forget to check out Deck of Scarlet in my description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Love me like you used to, so we can learn again. The skin is getting round me.